Welcome back. This time I rebuilt the steering box on the 70 Roadrunner. Now this is the first time I've ever done one of these, so I'm going to start out with a few main things I learned, at least about this steering box. A couple of tips that might help you if you're rebuilding yours. Okay, so the biggest thing over here on this side where this shaft runs down to the pitman arm, up on the very top, we got a cover here. I didn't really realize that was just a cover to begin with. I was having a hard time getting this spanner nut off that was on top, so I was trying to pry or trying to twist on the cover to help break it loose while I was hitting it. Ended up breaking the top cover. Main thing, just spray this with some good penetrating oil about a day or so in advance. I broke the one spanner nut on the front. I had broke it loose with just a flathead, so I kept using the flathead here. Didn't work as good, it's real sharp, just kind of kept cutting into the spanner nut. I finally broke it loose with a pretty good sized punch. Definitely didn't absorb the blow, transferred it all right to the spanner nut, and it had a lot more surface area, it was flat, so really went ahead, just transferred it all, ended up breaking it loose. I had to get this cover off a parts car, so I broke two other ones loose just like that, so that'll definitely help you out on that one. The other big one is this lever right here. You'll see it. It's got an adjustment screw over here on the left, right, with a little flathead in it. Once I got the valve off, saw this lever here. Same thing, it was split, looked like a flathead. I just stuck the flathead in it, tried to turn it, and it ended up snapping one side of it. So I had to take this off of one of the parts cars also. But this little lever just pulls right straight out. So when you come to that one, just pop that right out. The last point, I couldn't really find any good videos on it. After I broke a bunch of stuff, I found one. NSB Custom Cars. I tried to leave the link down below. It helped me out. I saw at the end they had an issue, and they were explaining how if you don't have this valve just right, this valve can be adjusted to sit further forward or backwards, and it changes the flow or which side you're putting pressure on. So if it's adjusted too far forward or backwards, it'll turn the wheel either to the left or the right, just sitting there, and it's constantly putting pressure on one side all the time. I didn't have that issue. I was fortunate enough when I got mine back together, fired it up, had it up in the air, see if there was any pressure on the left or right. It was good. It didn't have any extra pressure either way. All right, well, here's the video.
You want me to restart it?
Okay, so finally got it all apart. Working on cleaning it up. Finally got that spanner nut off though. Went ahead and just used a punch. Had a big flat end on it. Sat there and welded on it. Finally broke it loose. I think it was a little bit better than a flathead. Had more contact area up here and it was all steel, so I think this was absorbing a lot of the blow. But that thing was on there compared to the front one. I should have opened the kit first. Looked at it. It's got this good diagram, kind of shows you everything and how it goes together. Maybe I'd have realized that was just a cover instead of trying to pry on it a little to help me get this spanner nut off. Ended up breaking the dust cover. Down here up under the valve, there was a lever. Looked kind of like it was a flathead or something. I don't know. I just stuck a flathead in it and it snapped right off. Yeah, so when you do yours, this piece actually, it'll be sitting in. Let me flip this over. It'll be sitting down in here like so, going up into the valve. So it'll look like a flathead. That piece just pulls right straight up and out. And again, this one here sits down in here. It's just a cover. That spanner nut is on there tight. But if you get a good punch with a lot of surface area, go ahead, spray it a day or two in advance, because after letting this sit for several days, I came back, used that punch on it. It took some effort, but it got it out. So this thing worked good before. It was just leaking a lot. My plan is just to clean it all up, put a new O-rings and seals on it, reseal it up. I don't really want to take this whole unit apart here. I'm not sure what all I get into in there. And I said it worked fine before. So I'm going to just throw a few new O-rings on it, seals on it, seal it back up. Then I'll run out there to Dad's and get one off one of my parts cars. Get the cover off and that little plunger out of there, little lever. For now, I'm going to get these cleaned up, new seals on it, put it back in, then we'll go steal a couple parts off of one of the parts cars we need. Cleaning it up, and these little roller bearings just fell all out, hit the ground, went everywhere. Got all the ones back in the bottom one there. This top one here, you can see I got it partially back in. I got that little spot left to fill in. So far down from either end, I can't get my finger all the way in there to put them in. So every time I put two in, one or two fall out. If you try it, you got the same problem. I'm taking just a little bit of grease, putting on it, dabbing them right here, lining up my bearings ahead of time. Just kind of rolling it back and forth just a little bit, and they're sticking right on. Got 4 of them. Got them in. Got 5 left. I hope that's all I actually need. If not, I gotta search the barn floor and see where the rest of them bounce to. That last 5. Looks like I still got to find 2. Still need to find 1. Found 1. Finally found that last one. Got it back in. We'll go ahead and get a couple pieces in so I can get that main shaft that runs down to the pitman arm back in. Hold all them little roller bearings in. So I can get this drop back down in here without knocking any of them out. Clean up the front. Put this on. Can run out there and get a couple pieces off one of the parts cars. Got everything cleaned up pretty good. Go ahead and replace the seal, O-ring, this front seal here. Put it back together. Another seal in the back here. So we got this pin here that'll line it up. This has to go in that slot on the sleeve here. That's got to line up right with this little shim cover. Then the outside cover with our crooked seal. Not sure what the torque spec is on the spanner nut. Feels pretty good. Okay, now we just need the last couple pieces. So went out there, got the cover, a little plunger, lever off the other one. We'll put my new O-ring in, and adjustment screw back in. Got the valve body here. I already cleaned it all up, put new O-rings inside of there. Got new O-rings on the bottom, all cleaned up. The lever that I went out there to get, the one I broke to begin with, goes down in the top. There we go. And you see how it's got the hole right there. A little, yeah. You can see how it's got the hole for it to ride in. So this rides right down in here. Pushes right down in there. Now on the valve here, it rides right in here. From what I understand, it's supposed to be centered. And if it's off center, then it puts more pressure either to the left or the right. So we'll try to get it right, but it looks like we're gonna have to adjust it afterwards anyways. Put the spring down in here. I just gotta put it on, see what it does. All right, got it all back on the car, running, wheels off the ground. I guess I just got lucky and put it in the right spot where it's not pushing too far to one side or the other. I mean, obviously it's off the ground, but it doesn't turn that easy. Yeah, I hear you, big girls.